Good morning. Welcome to the market forecast. Thursday, October the 8th. October the 8th. That means something, I'm sure. Um, it's my brother's birthday. Rick, if you're watching, happy birthday. I love you, brother. And again, hey, we're rounding the final turn of the week here. It's Thursday. Uh, my name is John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. We're going to be looking at these markets through a hopefully consistent lens, and through that lens using risk management always. This morning at 7:30, the jobless claims numbers came out. They were looking for approximately 820,000 additional jobless. It came out at 840. Now, it's worse than it was expected. They adjusted the numbers from last week to higher, so it looks like it's a lower number. We're gonna kind of dig into that a little bit here before we look into the charts. But we also have the nat gas number at 9:30. We also have oodles of talking feds today. Oodles is an industry term. Lots of talking feds. As far as the news is concerned, the president has signaled possible stimulus negotiations. He's ready to start sending checks out to people, but of course he's getting some pushback from Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. So we're going to have to see how that plays out, but at least it's got our markets in a little bit of a cheery mood this morning as far as the equities are concerned, which are kind of liking the sound of that and seemingly trying to extend the recovery from yesterday. NASDAQ still range bound. S&P is a little bit more uh, directional to the upside as far as the structure looks. We're going to see that very shortly. Another hurricane is in the Gulf, threatening the Gulf states, as well as crude oil supplies for a brief period of time. But of course, we pray for the safety of everybody that is in line to get yet another hurricane. If you're down there, make sure you take cover, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, take care of your neighbors. So the jobless claims numbers this morning, it's so difficult to try and decipher all of this. So the initial jobless claims was 20,000 worse than they were expecting, but they adjusted the number from last week to 849,000, which looks like a drop for this week for continuing for initial jobless claims, but it's really kind of um, due to the adjustment in the previous. They also added continuing jobless claims, which were lower than expected this morning, but they also raised the previous. Having trouble seeing it here. They also raised, so they revised the last week's up about maybe about 200,000. So it's really difficult to try and decipher these numbers. We're going to be just basically looking at what we're looking at. We're going to have to trade what we see, as always. Make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and are always welcome. And make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notifications when we do go live. If you were at the event last night with the good Dr. Menaker, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something about trading, about yourself, about your psychology. Again, we're going to be doing that again in 2 weeks. Thank you all for attending. It's all for you. That's why we do this. So, looking forward to another good session. I'll be talking to the doctor here as we get closer about a specific topic, and we'll talk about it then. All right, the VIX down 2% today, falling off that 30 level that it was a couple of days ago. Down at last time I checked, 27.48. The dollar index 93.65. Looks like my brother's taking the day off. I am very happy that he is taking the day off. And again, if you are watching, Rick, happy birthday. All right. Yeah. Lots of note taking. I was doing the same thing. MSS Capital. Yeah, it was a really good event, and I'm looking forward to. We've got 5 more by the end of the year that we're going to have the opportunity to talk to the good doctor. So On that note, let's jump into the charts here and see what we've got going on. Oh, Felix, first one in the room. You got to get up pretty early to beat Felix in here. Felix, I'm going to be talking about the regular trading hours for each of these markets as we go through these charts. I know you had a question yesterday that I missed. We're going to get to it today. Danielle, guten Tag, MSS Capital. Tanya, good to see you. Mike, Marco, Doyle, Esteban, Subconscious, Caesar, Nicholas, Felix, again, Alan, good to see you. Norman, Andrea, Sarah, good morning. And yes, a great call yesterday afternoon. Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Tanya, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. It is, again, it's all for us. It's all for the trading community. So I look forward to, hopefully continuing that into next year even. All right, on that note, let's say hello to the charts. Here we go. Here's the crude oil daily chart. We are beginning rollover. Rollover is going to be next week. I think it's scheduled for next Thursday. Even though it's scheduled, it takes its time and chooses when to roll volume over. We'll of course be watching that next week. But so yeah, again, thinking about the beginning of rollover, we do have the storm threat in the Gulf, possible supply issues maybe coming down the pipe here. This 40-80 level here that we're currently at is the top of a previous area of balance. It's an interesting opportunity. It's an interesting area for me. And it's kind of recent swing highs. We've visited this level here several times in the last couple of weeks, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can accept above it with the storm in the Gulf. Perhaps that may be a distinct possibility. Well, again, we're going to be trading what we see. So let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. We've got settlement down here, 39.95. Put that on your charts. We've got momentum to the upside in overnight trade. Probably weaker hands. They're looking for what? They're looking for continuation. They're looking for buyers to come into this market in the regular trading hours. Felix, 8 o'clock Central Time, regular trading hour open for crude oil. Close, 1:30 Central Time. There's still opportunity, perhaps, after that close, but that is the old pit times, and that is what I keep my profiles set to. So back to crude oil, we're looking at the highs from this week, from Tuesday. We are holding above weekly kickoff high here. It was supportive for us last night. We're continuing to move higher, so we've got some overnight longs. If we're going to be of the frame of mind that we want to start looking for weakness to buy this market, this may offer us that opportunity. If we don't see buyers coming in right off the open here, we may see some of our overnight longs give us an opportunity to get a better trade location for longs. If we don't get that, we could just continue to move higher. We do have a previous weekly kickoff level up here at 41.20 that goes way back. Not too sure how impactful it's going to be, but just be thinking, we've got a gap to the upside, we've got overnight longs, but if we can't close the gap, we're going to be looking for opportunities to go in the direction of the gap, which puts us looking to the long side. At least for now, we're getting a little pricey as far as that range is concerned, but if we can break outside that range, we may see some continuation. As far as our equities are concerned, upside continuation amid continued uncertainty. These markets are extremely resilient. They do amazing things. And so we've got 3,400 weekly kickoff high now supportive, quite possibly. We've seen a couple of opportunities above it and at it. We're above it now. What was resistance sometimes becomes support. We're going to be opening with a gap, it seems. I went straight to the 30-minute. Let's take a look here. Okay, so here's that weekly kickoff high. We're holding above it. We closed above it. Settlement was 3406.75. Weekly kickoff high was 3,400. There is, a distinct possibility for us to continue this move to the upside. The structure is good. We added 7,400 in open interest on this move to the upside yesterday. Volume wasn't all that impressive, but I don't get that impressed on upside volume. So looks like we added some money and some possible new money into the long side here in the E-mini S&P. Now let's take a look at the 30. Again, we've got overnight long settlement is again down here at 3406.75. Put that on your charts. Overnight low, very close to that. Value high, right at that level. Very target-rich environment for me down here, especially so close to an important inflection level like 3,400, the weekly kickoff level. We are, again, kind of pushing up against a previous weekly kickoff level that I just gray them out on the charts because they may or may not become impactful. We have an opportunity to open with a gap. If we can't close the gap, we're going to look for continuation to the upside. If we close the gap, it may just be enough for an inventory adjustment. So we're going to take another look at things if that is the case. But, again, gap rules here. If we can't close this gap relatively early, we're going to be looking for opportunities for continuation to the upside. The NASDAQ, however, is in a little bit of a different situation here. We have, let's go to the daily. We are largely inside a ranging type of situation where the S&Ps have been more grinding to the upside. The NASDAQ has fallen into an area of balance, and we are currently looking at breaking out of that area of balance at the weekly kickoff high. A weekly kickoff high was 11,550. We are currently trading above it. It looks like we're going to open with a gap above an important inflection level. This offers opportunity. Volume indicates not a lot really yesterday, but again, I don't get weepy over weak upside volume unless there's a series of it. We only added 100 in open interest in the preliminary bulletin this morning, so there wasn't a lot of change in positioning in the activity that we had yesterday. Maybe a little bit of a different story for us today. Looking at the 30-minute chart, okay, we have settlement is basically the low of the regular trading hour session. It is, I think, basically to the tick. 11,470 is settlement. So one tick through it, 470. Yeah, one tick through it. We're piling in some longs in short time frame here. And again, similar to the S&Ps, we are looking at a gap. If we can't close the gap, we're looking for continuation to the upside. If we do see an inventory adjustment, that might give us an opportunity to look for longs at a cheaper level. Watching this weekly kickoff level here is going to be kind of vital for us, and somewhat pivotal. Be careful. Pivotal numbers sometimes become magnetic, and if you go with the long above, short below, you may go long above and short below a number of times, racking up losses in the meantime. So when we open the regular trading hour session at Felix Equities, 8:30 Central Time to 3:15 Central Time. That's what I keep my profiles set to for the equities. Excuse me. So again, watch and see if we see buyers coming into this market early in the session. If that's the case, I'm going to go with it. If we can't close the gap, going with it. If we close the gap, we'll take another look and see what kind of opportunities we can find throughout the day. Gold. Excuse me. Forgive me. I'm sorry about that. So gold. I'm going to go back to the daily here. Medium time frame balance has been established. We have our low here, we have our high here. Basically, weekly kickoff high and low has become a kind of a medium time frame area of balance, and where the market is falling into short time frame control. What does that mean? Well, when there's no real directional activity, the short time frame traders just kind of pick each other's pockets, and the longer time frame real traders, real money hedgers, wait for opportunities to adjust their hedges at the extremes. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that we're going to be looking for short time frame levels um, of for opportunities. Basically, is what that means to me. Settlement is down here at 1890.80. We've got some overnight longs in this market. We did open with a gap. We have also a gap up to here that we have now closed that gap. When we open in situations like this, when there's a gap and there's a point of control below and a point of control above, we sometimes fall into what I call a repair day. It's not mine. It's not my name. That's a Jim Dalton thing. Sometimes the market just wants to go back and recheck unchecked points of control in an effort to just finish up any business that still needs to be done between those 2 points. We're not really seeing anything that directional here. We haven't seen much of an effort to come and close the gap from yesterday, nor an inventory adjustment down to settlement, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. This is a very target-rich environment for me down here at settlement because we've got value high from yesterday. We also have the point of control, all right in that neighborhood. So I'm kind of stalking to see if I get an opportunity down there. And then if we do see continuation, I see that continuation continuing, if you will, up to the point of control from Tuesday's activity, which would bring us back to our weekly kickoff high, which has provided several opportunities this week. 1, a 2, a 3. So now into our currencies. The euro has kind of become a little bit uninteresting, especially as range bound as it is. There's still opportunity here, but they're gonna be smaller opportunities. If you're gonna be trading the euro today, my suggestion is work the extremes and make sure you have solid profit targets. Try not to fall in love with anything until there's a change in market state here. The weekly kickoff high still a kind of a sticking point here. It's been pretty resistant to price above it largely through the week. It might bring us another opportunity for today. Volume not impressive yesterday. Open interest, we did add 1,200 in open interest, so it seems like there may be some interest in this market moving into a different area to facilitate trade, just a matter of when. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So settlement is up here. We really didn't have much in the way of overnight inventory. The unemployment, the jobless claims maybe had something to do with this move to the downside, but we are again seeing opportunity off of weekly kickoff high, or at least in that neighborhood. Couldn't close above it yesterday. We're not seeing longer, stronger money coming in to push this market above it. It's just kind of logical that if we are in short time frame control and we are at a high level, we've maybe gotten a little bit too long in our short time frame or medium time frame, and the market comes off. So watch. We've got a little possible area of demand down here. It looks like it might be an interesting opportunity, but in large part, I'm going to try and stay patient in the euro here until we see a little bit of a change in market state. Taking a look now into the Japanese yen, we've got 2 days now testing weekly kickoff low, almost basically to the tick, especially last night. So weekly kickoff low providing supportive opportunities for us if we get back there today. Open interest yesterday, we lost about 900, not hugely impactful. We had some pretty decent volume on that move to the downside. I'm going to be calling that loss in open interest long liquidation. Perhaps we finally got out of longs, and all those longs getting out provides selling pressure. That selling pressure is now not in the market. We might see the opportunity for an upside move if we can hold weekly kickoff low. Let's take a look at the 30. Wow. Dragging the weekly kickoff low. Really range bound from overnight, barely even creeping outside of value from yesterday. I'm going to be really patient in this market as we've opened in range and in value. Would you call this a dead cat bounce? We were talking about the dead cat bounce that people were calling the equities yesterday. I disagreed with yesterday's overnight in the S&P, the night before last overnight being a dead cat bounce, and it certainly proved not to be. This looks more like a dead cat bounce to me. The market moves lower and then just drags along a known inflection level. So I'm watching overnight high. I'm watching overnight low and the weekly kickoff low for my opportunities. We get a breakout above this, we may see some return. We did not open in an area of repair. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. We still have this gap here that's a weakness, a structural weakness that takes us back to the upside. It's going to be an interesting trading day, aren't they all? Gold, Felix, 720 to 1230. However, there is usually some activity after that 1230 used to be pit close. This is an example of that. You can see most of the time volume dies off around 1230. There's not much going on. But the day before yesterday, when that news came out, we really spiked a lot of volume. So people are still paying attention. Some folks like to keep their gold profiles open until 2 o'clock. Currencies and treasuries, 7:20 open as well. 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time close. All right? All right. So, we got our work cut out for us. Hopefully you're having a good week. Again, I hope you enjoyed the opportunity to listen to Dr. Menaker. We're going to have more of those opportunities coming up here. 2 weeks from yesterday, we will have the second production, I guess, if you want to call it, the second presentation by the good doctor. So I'm going to say hello to everybody. It was a great call yesterday. Yes, Tanya, I'm very happy. Lots of notes taking. Yep. Hey, Jory. Hello from the Canadian oil sands. Good morning. It's nice to see you. If it's your first time here, we're glad you're here. And make sure you check us out every day. The goal is try and help everybody and improve the performance. Consistency of lens, context, and risk management are prime here. Are there recordings available for the attendees? Yes, there will be a recording available. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. Dolby, good morning to you. Good to see you. But I will let you know when and where it becomes available for you. Okay? All right. On that note, we've got 5 minutes before our equity open. Take your deep breath. Humble, grateful, creative, confident. Those are the words for the day. Got 6 more days to go on getting the funded account. Nice job, Jory. Great to hear that. Take your time. Stay cool. Let us know how things continue to go. Andrea, thank you. Good day, Esteban. Everybody, get out there and profit. Trade well today. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the market forecast, being Friday. Take care.